Are you struggling to build muscle because of your fast metabolism? Stick around because I'm going to share with you how you can fix that, and we're starting right now. Yo, what's going on? It's Thomas from RohmerFitness, and real quick, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing because I post a new video each and every day. Now, having a fast metabolism can be frustrating, right? It just feels like no matter what you do, you cannot seem to put on any muscle mass. So what I'm going to do for you here today in this video is share with you the exact step-by-step process you need to take to start building muscle even though you're skinny or you have a fast metabolism. So the very first thing you need to do is change your mentality. Why do I say that? Because if you're telling yourself you're a hard gainer, you have a fast metabolism, you're skinny, that's why you can't build muscle, then what are your chances of actually being able to build muscle? You're telling yourself you're a guy with a fast metabolism, so you're skinny, so you're a guy who doesn't build muscle, and you're just holding yourself back with those limiting beliefs. You have to be able to overcome that in order to still, be able to actually build some muscle. So instead of telling yourself, I can't build muscle because I have a fast metabolism, tell yourself this: how can I build muscle even though I have a fast metabolism? How can I build muscle even though I'm a hard gainer? Something like that, for example. Don't tell yourself, I can't because I'm a hard gainer. You're just instantly going to shut your mind off, and it's going to stop looking for any potential solutions to your problem. But by instead asking yourself, how can I build muscle? You're going to put your mind in a position where it's going to have to think of solutions to come up with to fix your problem. So switch your mentality, switch your frame of mind, and it will really help you out. So once you've done that, what is the next thing you need to do? Well, you're going to have to get a little bit diligent here. So what you're going to need to do for step number 2 is determine your resting metabolic rate. So your resting metabolic rate is the amount of calories you burn off in a given day. So let's say, for example, your resting metabolic rate is 2,500 calories. That means your body burns off about 2,500 calories in a given day. If you eat less than 2,500 calories, you're putting yourself in a caloric deficit and you'll be losing weight. If you eat more than 2,500 calories, you'll be putting yourself in a surplus and gaining weight. So that's what we want. We want to put ourselves in a surplus and start gaining weight. But the thing is, if you don't know what your resting metabolic rate is, how do you know how many calories you need to eat to gain weight? And that's the problem with a lot of guys who have a fast metabolism, is they don't even know what numbers they need to beat. They don't even know what numbers they need to eat at in order to build muscle. So it just makes it hard right off the bat if you don't know what your resting metabolic rate is. Now, the third step is what we are going to do is we are going to add 250 to our original resting metabolic rate number. So in the example I was using earlier, we had a resting metabolic rate of 2,500 calories. So we're going to add 250 calories to that for a total of 2,750. So this is going to put us in a caloric surplus of 250 calories, and it should have us gaining on average about half a pound a week. Step number 3 is going to be diligently tracking your calories and your macros. So I'm going to list a video where I talked about macros and things like that. But essentially, what you want to be doing here is you want to be consuming around 40% or so from carbs, another 35% from protein, and the rest from fat. And then you want to track your calories, okay? So if you're not using some sort of an app or something that can actually measure your macros and your calories, how do you know how many calories you're eating in a given day? Seriously, how do you know? You don't know. And it's so easy just to say, oh, I eat all day, I'm eating all this, and I'm not gaining any weight. Most guys are not tracking it, and they don't really know how much they're eating, because if they did track it, they would realize they're not eating enough to gain weight. So that's why you really have to be diligent with this and practice with it and measure it out, because if you don't, you have no idea. And it's so easy to just sit there and complain that you're not gaining any weight even though you're eating all the time. But if you measured it out, you would realize you're not eating enough. So measure it out. And then step number 4 is going to be adjust as necessary. So let's say a week goes by, you ate 27 50 calories and you didn't gain any weight, and you know you ate that much because you actually tracked it, what are you going to do? You're going to add 100 to that number each week until you start gaining weight. So let's say on week 1 you ate 2,750 calories. You didn't gain any weight. Week number 2, you're going to add in 100. So now you're eating 2,850. And you're going to measure that out, eat that much. If you didn't gain any weight, bump it up another 100 for the following week, so 2,950. And you're going to continue doing that until you start gaining weight. Now, of course, if you have a fast metabolism or something like that, fat gain is probably not going to be something you should be too worried about. And if you do gain a couple of pounds of fat, you can always get rid of that later. So yes, this is kind of setting things up in a way to where we're kind of easing ourselves into it a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to fat gain, if you have a fast metabolism, that is your last worry, okay? Let's worry about the bigger picture right now, the bigger problem, which is how do I build muscle even though I have a fast metabolism, okay? So if you follow those steps right there, you will be well on your way to building some lean muscle. So if you want a calculator to be able to determine your resting metabolic rate, I put it in the description down below, so don't worry about that. And that is going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And also while you're at it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with my latest tips and videos. And other than that, I will be talking to you next time. Peace.